Hi guys, it's Dave again. Just come to you. Thought I'd make a little quick project. Uh, Today I'm going to do this little project. It is a picture frame. It says "I love you" or "love you" on it, um, and has a place here to cut out for the picture frame. Uses a 2 3/4 inch insert. I'm making it out of walnut. As you can see, I've already applied the my tape and the pattern. So I'm going to go ahead and get it set up on the scroll saw. Be using my Jet 22-inch scroll saw, and I'll get this started, get it threaded up, and we'll get going. I'm using a number one new spiral from Flying Dutchman, and I prefer to use a new spiral when I'm running these. So we'll go ahead and get started. And I've got my magnifier and light on. So turn down my speed a little bit. And we'll go ahead and get going. I probably cut different than a lot of people. I prefer to use a new spiral blade. I started off learning to cut, creating those tree of lives that I make, and when you're working with those kind of organic shapes, the new spiral or spiral blade helps you cut them a lot easier. So I just got so used to using a spiral that's what I've just kind of naturally gravitated towards it, and I use it on just about all of my scroll saw projects. So this is a cute little picture frame. I had this scrap piece of walnut, so I thought I would use it up, and what better way than to make something that somebody might enjoy. The good thing about a new spiral blade is it cuts in any direction, so you can use it even when you've got difficult areas and really sharp turns. You don't have to worry about making a hard angle. You're able to keep the blade going. You just reverse into a different direction. And I'll get this one letter cut out, show you it, and then we'll get it finished the rest of the way out, or at least the letters, and then I'll come back to you once we have all of the letters cut. So there you can see I've got the O cut out so far. I know this is backwards because of the way the camera's picking it up, but I'm going to finish out the rest of the letters here, and I'll come back and we'll finish up. All right, guys, I'm back. Just finishing up this last letter. So I wanted to bring you along as we're finishing this up. And like I said, for me, I like being able to use a spiral blade it helps me really work on things that I like. Don't ever let anybody tell you that you have to use certain blades, or this blade won't work for that, or you can't do it this way. You know, other than safety, when it comes to safety things, you know, I don't compromise on safety. But as far as what works best when using something like this, a scroll saw, what blades work best, that's all going to be up to you and your style, what you like. Like I said, starting out, I used, because of all the twists and turns that I had to make with the Tree of Life, I was recommended to use a spiral blade, and I cut so many trees of life for so long that I really got used to using it. I use it now, and it's fairly easy for me to cut a straight line with a spiral. I know that's one of the bigger drawbacks that a lot of people have when it comes to the spiral blade, is they're really easy to come offline or off center of where you need them, and so a lot of people don't recommend using them unless you're using them for a specific purpose. But it's what I like. There you can see I finished with that last letter, so now I can do it like this, and you'll see it correctly. So it's finished. So now the next step is I'm going to cut out the opening for the picture, and then we'll go around. When I switch to this inner line to separate these two hearts, I'll go down to like a number 1, or probably an 02 blade, or 2-0 blade, I'm sorry, or a 3-0, simply because it's such a small line. I want to make sure that curve is as tiny as possible. So let me let's get the circle cut out, and then we'll start working on separating these hearts. You're cutting out these circles, just take your time, go as slow as you need to, and a hint that I can give you is it's alright to cut short of the line, because you can always sand. The best thing to do, in my opinion, is never go on the outside of your pattern or outside of your mark, because once you do, then you really hard to get it back, or to even it up to make it look right. So it would be better to spend a couple extra minutes going through that, and you can hear the rev of my engine up there. It's pushing just a little bit too hard. This blade's getting a little bit dull. I probably should have changed it before I started this. You know, and with the price of blades, blades are very cheap, very inexpensive, and especially compared to the cost of wood. Don't ever be afraid to change a scroll saw blade. Spend the 20-some cents, because it's definitely a lot less expensive than ruining a piece of hardwood. So there, I'm just about done. We're coming into the home stretch now, and we'll have this finished. Just easing back up to that line. Should be just about there. So now we've got it out. All right, so now the next step will be to cut the outline, and then we'll go back in as the final step and separate the two by going around the puzzle piece section. So I'm going to pause right now, and I'll be back as I'm finishing up. All right, guys, we're working our way around the hearts, and I'm at the bottom of them now. Just want to take your time, let the blade do the job, let it take the wood by itself, don't try to force it in. The more you force, the easier it is for your blade to come off your mark and start drifting. And then you're spending a whole lot more time sanding than if you would have just taken the extra couple minutes to let the blade do what it's going to do. So got just a little bit left here to finish up. I'll go ahead and keep the camera rolling while I finish this, and then show you where we're at, show you what the next step's going to be. Now that we're finished with this, I can show you what it looks like. Okay, so there it is, it's cut out. Don't ever let somebody tell you that you can't cut a decent line with a spiral blade. It can be done. I prefer to use the spirals. So there it is. Now for this next separation, it'll be good to see it'll stand by itself. But I'm going to use a 03 blade or aught 3 blade. Let me show you what I'm going to be using. I keep all of my blades in test tubes. I buy them by the gross. So this is from Flying Dutchman. It's a new spiral, and it's a NS 3/0 or 3/0 blade or aught 3 blade. I've heard people call it multiple things. But it is a very, very, very tiny blade. So tiny. Let's see if I can bring that up and show you just how thin it is. Let's see. Can we focus? Focus. Focus. There's the grooves of my hand, and I don't know if you can see just how thin that blade is. So it's a tiny little blade, and this will be the one that we'll use to separate. So let me get this blade changed, and we'll come back as we're cutting, okay? All right, we're back. I've got the new blade inserted. So now we're going to go through and separate these two by completing that cut. All right, here we go. Sorry, I'm a little quiet, guys. I'm really going to try to concentrate to get this cut exactly where it needs to be. And as soon as I finish this cut, I'll be able to yak a little bit more. Good thing about a spiral blade, I can not worry about twisting or turning the wood. I just simply let the blade go where it wants to go. Well, you know what I mean. All right, so there it is. Now I have the two pieces. They're separate, and now back together, and I will go ahead and get this sanded and get it ready, and show you the next step and show you how we'll get it ready to go for the finish of the product. All right, thanks. Be right back. Okay, so now comes the fun part. We just finished up over on the scroll saw. We've got our two pieces. I have taken the pattern off, as you can see, and now I have them, and they slide together very easily. And as you can see, I've got a pretty decent joint there. Not a lot of kerf, so we didn't lose a lot there. The one thing that we really want to make sure of, though, is we want to make sure that we don't, or try our very best not to be sanding in between here and open that up even more. So a very light touch of sanding. Especially when you're working with scroll saw, you can get these little feathers from the blade. I want to do our best to knock those off just a little bit. Here you can see some of those right around the cut. It's a little bit of blowout kind of thing, and that'll come off with just a quick sand. So we'll want to go through, sand these really quick, and when we get done, I'll show you my piece that I've got, the photo insert that we'll be putting in it, and then this will stand up like this, and it'll look pretty good. So let me get it sanded, and then I'll show you this insert. It's basically like a clock insert, and we'll show you that and show you how it gets finished. All right, guys, just finishing up. Just gave it a sanding on the top and the bottom, and the next thing I'm going to do is just take this small little file, and I'm going through making sure that all of my cutout letters are completely free of little feathers or little flyaway pieces. You know, I want to make sure that all of my lines are crisp. And when I've got that completely done, I'm just going to go ahead and show you the end product. I'll take these two pieces, put them together, and then what I did is I took this, it's a clock insert with a photo frame, or I turned it into a photo frame, and it'll slide right there in that hole. And let me get that lined up. So now, there I go, it'll sit together like that. And we have it, let me grab a piece of paper here and put behind it, maybe that'll make it easier to read. And there we have it. So I'm going to finish this, I believe, with a coat of Danish oil. So here we are. And there it is. Is that coming in good? Probably not the world's best. But so now I'll finish it up and should look good. Really makes that grain pop. So here again. And there it is. All right, guys. Thanks so much.